up, guys? It's Chad Close here with another tutorial for CCGaming. And today we are going to talk about importing, and we're going to throw in our tank that we made last video, or tank-like object. So I went up, booted up Unity, and again we just have our basic game going on here where we shoot our zombies and our 100 pops out and all is well. Next we're going to replace our blue guy with our tank. So first thing we're going to have to do is import it. So let's go over here and just create a folder called player. And then we're going to right click, import new asset. And we're going to go ahead and find where you put your tank. Mine is right here. And first thing we have to do is we have to export it. So go ahead and open up Blender here. Open up your tank player, select everything. Make sure you save it. File, export, FBX. And we're just going to save it directly into our assets folder right here and our player. Alright, we're going to scroll down, click selected objects, and put our scale up to 50 because Blender's scale is really small compared to Unity. So just I always bump it up a nice 50, and it's a good number to start off with. Go ahead and export this, and your Unity will automatically import it, and now you have this new prefab called player. So we're just going to go ahead and drag this into the scene. As you can tell, it's really small. So we will first center this out, and we're going to make it a little bit bigger. Next, so 2, maybe. Yeah, 2 looks good for right now. We're going to remove this animation, right? And we're going to drag it and place it into our player game, or our player object. Now, as you can see, our tank is facing left, and our player is facing right. So we're going to go ahead and select our player and just rotate it along the y-axis so it's looking in the right angle. Good enough. And next we can just delete our cube because we now know what way it's pointing. And also in our player we can get rid of our mesh render and also our capsule. Alright, so all is good there. Next thing we can do is we have to replace our flash position. So we can put it down here in front of our thing. And actually what we're going to do is, as you can see, we have 2 meshes in here, our body mesh and our turret mesh. We're going to select both of them and drag them out of this player object, and just go ahead and delete that. And next we want our flash position attached to our turret. So we're just going to go ahead and attach that. Make sure that it transferred over and it's all good. Alright, so now we have our body and our turret. So now if we go ahead and play, you can see our, they all look wherever I'm pointing, which we don't want our tank drifting. So how we're going to fix that is we're going to change our code just a little bit. So in our player movement script, we'll go ahead and open that up. Alright, so you can see we set our angles to 0, which is fine. But in our move script, in our move function down here, we have, let's see, we have our entire transform look at the position. And we don't want our entire, we just want our turret. So we're going to go ahead and make a variable called turret, and then put that in front of it. And up at the top, we'll just go bar turret. Is a transform, right? And looking good. Next thing on this fire, when we instantiate the flash, it's going to instantiate the transform rotation, and we don't want the transform rotation, we want the turret transform that rotation. So go ahead and put that in there. And next we need our body to look in the right direction. So how we're going to do that is, I believe, can we just get rid of this? No, not that. That's not going to work. We will go body that transform dot look at. Whoop, dropped my phone. We're going to look at our transform. Oops. Transform dot forward. So that's not going to work either, because we're going to be moving in this direction. What we can do is we can do vector 3 and our x is going to be something, y is going to be something 0, and our z is going to be something. And we can just go ahead and declare our x and z to be this stuff up here. And before I'm going to do that, I'm actually going to make a new variable called body direction. And that's going to be equal to a vector 3. So I'm kind of doing like a things before and replace that with body direction. And we're going to have our x be the same as this right here, as our rigid body. Actually, let's see. This might work. We can just do rigid body dot velocity, which is a vector 3. And then what we're going to want is we're going to want the, what's it called? It's called normalized, I believe. So we'll just go ahead and do normalized. Make sure we spell that right. And what that does is just makes a unit vector of everything's going to equal 1. So that should work. Let's hope. We haven't declared our body variable. So body is a transform. Hopefully that all works. And now we're going to have to put our body and turret in. So put our turret in the turret and our body in the body. And let's hope. Well, you know, it's close. Not really. All right. So let's check out the problem right here. Yeah. Wow. That's not good. We're gonna create some empties in here. And we're gonna make 2 of them. We're gonna name one body. And we're gonna name one turret. And the reason why we're doing that is because when you import in Blender, it kind of messes it up a little bit. Like the rotation's all funky. As you can see, our rotation's already negative stuff, and that's not good. So we're just gonna put them in our body, zero them out, and then we're gonna drag them back out, and then attach the actual body to that turret thing. So we'll do the same thing with the turret. Drag it out, and then attach the turret again. So now we have actual things with our rotation right. So now, whoop, gotta apply them. Body and turret. So let's hope. So it kind of works, kind of doesn't. Yeah, so it seems like our body is just kind of rotating. It looks like our top is actually pointing in the right direction though, which is good. So if that is right, it's just our body is wrong. So you can easily fix that by doing, we'll try some trig out on this thing. So body.Euler angles.y equals math f.tan of our body, of our horizontal divided by our vertical. Nope. Vertical over horizontal. Y over x. Hopefully that works. Let's pray. If it is. If it isn't, we're gonna have to pause the video. So, yeah, we're gonna have to pause the video. And I'll be right back. Figured it out. And this is all the code you need. Yeah, it's a lot, I know. So, one thing to note is if we aren't moving, if our velocity magnitude, which is if we're moving or not, is less than 0, we don't want to change our direction. We just want it to keep facing the direction it was facing and not keep going back to 0 or something like that. So that's what that does. Inside this, we have a couple functions. The first is if the velocity, so say if the rigid velocity is in x is more than 0 and z is more than 0, the absolute value, that means we're going to go at an angle. We're not going up or down or left or right. So if we are going at an angle, we're going to calculate the angle. And how we're going to do this is do the what's it called? Arctan. We're going to do arctan of the rigid body x divided by the rigid body z times math f radian 2 degrees, because this function right here is going to return a radian and we want a degree. So we're just going to times it by that. And next what we're going to do is, if we just had this, when we're facing like down to the right, it would be facing up to the left. So we're just going to inverse it and add 180 degrees to that. Alright, so that's if both of them are greater than 0. And now if they aren't, we got to figure out which one is. So if x is greater than 0, and if x is greater than 0, so we're going to the right, we want our angle to be 90, and if we're going to the left, we want it to be negative 90. We're going to do the exact same thing using an else, because if x isn't greater than 0, that means our z is greater than 0. So we'll just copy the paste, and it'll be 0 to the right and 180 to the left. And next thing we're going to do is we're just going to make our Euler angles of the body equal the angle. Next thing we are going to do is, I'll show you that real quick, I guess. So you can see I can move around, everything's following me just how I want it. But one thing you can note is I can't kill anyone because we're always shooting up and down, which because we changed our look at positions, which is fine, not a big deal. We just have to go up here, and in our raycast, we're going from our position to forward. Our forward isn't right anymore, so I'm just going to put turret.transform.forward, and that should work. Yep, so, yep, there we go. So now it's working out good. Still one thing is, so say I collide into these, you can see they're kind of in me, and that's because my collider is now a little too small for this tank. It's not really a big deal, but I'm just going to increase the radius a little bit. So now we kind of have a ball around us, but that's fine. You can play around with the settings in the capsule if you really want to, but this is going to work for what I'm doing. So next thing I'm going to do, just make sure our collider and everything's flat on the ground. Looks all good. So now we got a turret rotating, we're driving in the right direction, everything is going good. Right? Next, what should we do? We got time left. I'm going to see how much time we have left, and I'll decide, so I'll be right back. Alright, well, I'm kind of at a crossroads, because I can do pretty much a lot of stuff right now. I can work on map design, more character design, more gameplay and stuff. I think what we're going to do is we're going to work on like upgrading your gun, not upgrading it. We're going to have, you'll be able to cycle through, and this first gun we have right now, you'll have unlimited ammo for it. And then the next one, you'll have a certain amount. You'll be able to pick them up from dropped enemies. So let's go ahead and make that second gun so we can start working on the drops and the whole ammo thing and all that. So let's go ahead and open up Blender right here. And I already opened up my tank. And as you can see, we have our body and we have our turret 1. We're going to go ahead and just shift duplicate this and make it called turret 2. Alright? Go ahead and hide the first turret. And we're going to make this kind of a railgun type of gun. So we're going to keep the base. We're going to actually keep a lot of this. We're just going to delete the chain going to it. That should be, we'll delete this one too. We're still going to use all this, so we can keep it. The barrel, we're just going to completely scrap all of this. We still need one barrel, just for a template. But we're going to make this circle a little bit bigger, so we'll select both sides and then scale it up. And keep scaling it up, and that's pretty big, so we'll scale it down a little bit. And that looks good. We'll scale this base down a little bit more so it looks, or scale it up so it looks right. Make sure I have all the right stuff selected. Scale along the Y. Alright, so we kind of got our main casing, and now we have our one barrel. So let's do this. We're gonna select our cursor to grid, and hold on, I'll go ahead and throw my start screencast display going on here. Oh, there we go. And now you can see all the stuff I'm doing, which is really fast. Ah. Oh, what did I do? Alright. So we have our cursor to center. We're going to go ahead and select this one barrel, and we're going to separate it. And we are going to go transform origin to 3D cursor. And then we are going to modify it. Oh, get rid of this. Yeah, just get rid of that. And we're going to put we are going to put, where is it? Where is it? I guess we could put a mirror. Let's put a mirror on it. Alright, and what we're going to do is do on the y-axis and the z-axis. Alright, and we will have clipping on. So we'll go here into edit mode, and so we can see it better, we'll hide that. And we will actually fill this in, so we can actually see the circles for right now. We're going to have 6 barrels, so I'm going to duplicate this, delete half of it, and kind of combine it here. Like that. Oh. There we go. And let's see. Move this in. Move this one. That. Let's rotate it. And we're just going to go ahead and apply this. Get rid of this edge because it's a wasted edge. And now we have our barrels, so we can unhide all of this. Go ahead and hide turret 1 again. And with this selected, we're going to select the turret and then control join it. So now it's part of the turret again. We're just going to go ahead and select the faces. Oops. And extrude them out. So now we have all of our barrels looking good. We're going to go ahead and select this loop. Oh, not that one. Select this loop, fill it in. So now we have all these barrels looking good. Let's put a piece right here to kind of connect them all. So we can actually just select, cursor to selected, add in a circle. Make sure it, we'll do 8 here. Rotate along the Y 90 degrees. Scale it down quite a bit. Put it in here. Shoot along the x-axis. And then let's just duplicate this and we'll make kind of a couple of them. And we forgot to fill these in, so undo that. Fill, 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 fill. Now we're going to select everything and then recalculate. Alright, so looking good. Kind of have a turret kind of going thing now. And let's go ahead and re-put the feed in. Right, so that's nice. Undo that. Make sure you select both sides. You should have limits on when you're doing this, really. Extrude it out. Alright, so now we have our second turret. Pretty cool. It doesn't look too different from the first one. I can flip back and forth from these. But it's gonna do the job. Yeah, looks good. So we'll go ahead and save this. Unhide that again. Select everything, file, save, and then and we're going to export it all again, FBX. It all should be set if you haven't closed Blender out yet from last tutorial. And now when we re-imported it and we zoom in on this, we can actually look at the turret, and we can see this mesh filter up here, and we can change this from turret 1 to turret 2. So, pretty cool, that. Because they have the same origins, so that's how we're going to kind of change it between our guns, is just change the mesh filter, which is going to be nice and simple, and we're not going to have to instantiate and stuff like that. So, and considering this one, our flash point, as you can see, is in the same one, in the same spot. So we can just use the same flash point, which is nice. So let's go ahead and create a script. No, let's see. Yeah, a script to hold the ammo of our guns. So that can be in our player move script, because that has the fire and all that in here. We're just going to go up here, make a variable called ammo, and it's going to be an int array. And right below it, we're going to make a comment. We're going to go, actually, no, we're not going to make a comment. It's all good. And then we're going to make another gun call, or another variable called current gun, and that's just going to be equal to 0. And in our move, which is also kind of our input function, I'm going to minimize some of these. Changing weapons. How should we change weapons? So we have WSD to move around, pointing around, shooting. Do you think space? I think space would be workout. Space. Change weapons using space. That's what we'll do. So if the space button, which is already declared as a variable, or as an input, so we can just go if input.get button down is jump, because that's the default for space. So if we press jump, we're gonna call a function called switch guns. Alright? And we'll go ahead and make that function switch guns. And now, since we currently only have 2 guns, we're going to do if current, is it undercase, current gun equals 0. Actually, we're going to go like this, current gun, so we're going to go to the next gun. So if we're at 0, we're going to go to 1. And if current gun is greater than ammo dot length, a little more adaptable. We don't have to change the script every time we add a gun. So if the current gun is greater than the length, so say we have 2 guns, our length will be 2. So there's no such thing as gun 2 in the ammo array. So if that's the case, we're going to go current gun equals 0. Alright? And let's do that actually right now too. So after we switch our gun, if ammo current gun, so if we don't have ammo for the current gun, if it's less than 1, we're going to switch guns again until we have ammo. And we're also going to go if current gun is not equal to 0. Because if it's 0, we're always going to have ammo. Yeah, let's tab that out. And I believe that's how you do not equal to in JavaScript. Is not. So we can just go if it's greater than 0. Which will work the same. We just wanted to switch guns again, and what is it complaining about? Oh, oops, maybe that is how you do not equal to 0. Yep, right. So if it's not equal to 0, and we don't have any ammo, we're going to switch guns again. Else, once it does this, we want it to switch guns. So I'm just going to go ahead and test this out, make sure it works. We're just going to display the current gun variable that we're on. So I can go ahead and exit all that. In our player, we're going to go and make our ammo. We're going to have 4 guns, and we'll make them all 0 for right now. So let's get rid of this hit. Where's this hit? It's an enemy. Where's this debug? There it is. Comment that out. Alright, so it seems like we're getting an error. Oh god, I died. That's not good. Comment that out too. Alright, so it says we are getting an error on 82. Current gun. Whoops, let's put an equal there too. No. Now I should. Yep, so we're always going to be on 0 and. Whoops. That was 1. Oh, God. Sorry about that. So now you can see it displays it 4 times because it's in 4 function loops because it's going to check every single one. That's what I was afraid of when it says debug right here. But that is not a problem. Or is it? Yeah, it is. It's kind of a problem. So else, we're just going to now should just display it once in here. I'm just going to check it out real quick. Because this we're going to call a function to switch our mesh and all that good stuff. So it's not doing anything right now because the gun is 0. So it's not even, that's not good. So we're going to switch guns, and then down here, right after we switch guns, we're going to switch meshes. Right? And we're going to make a new function, switch. Again, guys, I'm kind of making this game as I go, so if I make some errors here and there, it's just the learning process of making games. It happens. So, if current gun, we're going to need a variable of all the meshes, so we're going to go gun meshes, and I believe it's mesh. I think it's just mesh. So, yes. No, these are incomplete. You're not telling me what I need to know. Is it mesh or is it not mesh? It is mesh. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to check if the mesh filter we're using right now is the same as the mesh that we want to change to. So we can do gun meshes if is not equal to the current mesh, so our turret mesh dot transform dot get component, what's it called? Oh, actually it's going to be a new turret mesh dot get component, and then it's going to call, is it mesh filter? Hold on. Alright, so I quick went and googled it, and it's simply this. So our mesh is going to be equal to the mesh, let's get component mesh filter. So we're just going to copy all of this and go ahead and throw it right there, and then we can get rid of that. So if our mesh is not equal to the mesh that we're using right now, we want to change it. So then, I guess we don't even really need this check, but we will use it just in case changing meshes takes a lot of CPU. So, if it's not, now we're going to change our current mesh to the mesh that we want. So, next thing, we need our turret mesh variable to be declared. And that's just going to be a transform. So, no errors we're looking like, and we're good. So we can go ahead and throw our turret 1 into our turret mesh. In our gun meshes, we're going to have 2 guns, and it's going to be in our player right here. So turret 1 and turret 2. So now if we go ahead and play, as you can see, we can't change weapons because, well, we don't have any ammo for the other one. But if we hit pause, go ahead and give us some ammo, I should be able to change weapons. Did it change weapons? I can't really tell. Go ahead and press pause. And I did. So you can see now we have our turret, which is cool. And next what we're going to do is we're going to change fire rates, because our fire rates are going to be different for every single gun. So right here where you see var fire speed, we're going to turn this into a float array. Alright? And if we just go ahead and search fire speed, mark all, we can see we use it right here. So we're just going to put our current gun in there. And our fire timer to our fire speed current gun. Alright? And so now we got that. Our gun speed changed. So we have 2 guns. Our first gun is going to have a 0.4 speed, and the next gun is going to be a 0.1 speed. So now you can tell if I go ahead, and I'm kind of spamming right now. You can see it's kind of not the fastest, but if I go ahead and pause this, give me some ammo, you can see I'm going to maybe, change weapons. So now you can see the gun flash, and you can see I'm using a lot of fire speed. So now we want it to delete ammo every time you shoot. So in our fire script, over here, we're actually going to go down here probably. Maybe? No? Firing. Firing equals true, firing. Alright, right here. So in order to fire, we need ammo. So if current gun is greater than 0, because the first gun has unlimited ammo, like we said. So, hold on. So if current gun is equal to 0, or if ammo of the current gun is greater than 1, or greater than 0. So if either of these are true, so if our current gun is 0, we can fire, or if we have more ammo than 0, we can fire. And now in here, we can, if current gun is greater than 0, we're going to delete 1 ammo. So current gun minus minus, right? So now if we go ahead and play this, give us a bunch of ammo before I die. And now you can see in the bottom left hand corner, I am using my ammo, which is cool. Cool, cool, cool. Should really work on sound effects sometime. Alright, so I'm gonna, yeah, so that looks pretty good. So that's all we got for this episode. Make sure you subscribe, like, follow the series. It's gonna be pretty cool. Next time we're probably gonna be working on drops, enemy drops, and maybe, I don't know. After that, it'll be a surprise. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys.